I forgot what you did. I know you do science.
Yeah, I have a science background, but also I do business and a lot of.
Get on this
things.
microphone, man.
I guess, long story short, business and property development, mainly for the cannabis industry.
Yeah, but you've been doing this since way back, right?
Yeah, I started growing when I was 15 years old. And
How do you now?
How did I do that? Oh,
How old are you now?
Now I'm 43.
So you almost 30 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Dang.
I just at the time it came with seeds.
Were you doing chemistry stuff too, or?
Yeah, I went to school for chemical processing and environmental technology.
What made you want to do that?
Well, I originally went for chemical processing just because I've always loved science and been good at it, and there were good jobs with that, but it would not have been an enjoyable life. But I was just going to go and do that, and then I had to take a couple environmental classes.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, this is more my tribe, and I ended up doing water quality research for a couple years, and then I met somebody who did.
Hold on, let's go back to the water quality shit.
Yes.
You like the water quality?
Yes.
She likes. So what is where would you test the water?
I was in the Caucalan watershed, which is like the whole northwest quarter of the Lower Peninsula of Michigan.
Okay.
And it's the biggest watershed in Michigan.
What's a watershed? I'm gonna be stopping you on a lot of this because
please.
I'm dumb. All right.
No. If you imagine let's just say the top quarter of Michigan,
right?
There's a border there. If one drop of water falls on this side, it rolls to this side. It's kind of like the slope of the groundwater.
Wow, B. So there's a fucking crucial break. There's like a break. There's an absolute point in the land. If the water hits one way, it's guaranteed to go towards like Huron, and the other way is guaranteed to go west.
Yeah, yep. It'll shift a little over time, but there's always a living line there.
Is that what a watershed is?
Yep.
So it's the watershed is the whole. Would it be that whole area that it goes into?
The surface water and the groundwater.
Wow.
So sometimes the water is on the surface, and that's part of the watershed, but there's a lot of water moving underneath the ground.
So let me ask you this then. Does everybody have the same quality water, or does each municipality, do they like process the water differently?
Oh, yeah, they can process it very differently from one place to another. And another big thing that impacts that is local ordinance, the things that they allow. If they make, let's say, a brewery, Founders Brewery in Grand Rapids. I almost worked for the city there and learned a little bit about it.
Okay.
They make them do pre-treatment.
What's that mean?
It means like when they have their effluent, which is all the basically wastewater, it's what they want to put down the sewer.
Is that poop? If I took a poop?
The wastewater treatment plant does take care of poop.
Yeah.
But this is more like it's sugars they're putting in the water from the brewing process.
Oh.
They're boiling all the grains and everything, and then they want to put all this nutrient-rich stuff down the pipes. And it's very similar to fertilizer coming off of runoff from fields.
Right.
There should be a border to filter it out.
Okay.
It feeds all these microbes, and
What are microbes, dog? Like
bacteria, fungus, just germs, basically.
Okay.
They can be good and bad, microbes.
Yeah.
They make yogurt. They make us sick,
It's like that antibacterial soap. I feel like you need bacterial.
I agree.
Like,
there's a time and place for antimicrobials, but it's better to create a condition that fosters the growth of beneficial ones, and then they'll fight off the bad ones.
Yeah.
That's a big part of my philosophy in growing a lot of times.
Because I think a lot of dudes are pussy now because of the antibacterial soap. Catch fucking pussy, man.
It soaks right to the brain.
Right? Fucking that shit, like, motherfuckers can't even eat peanuts no more. Where do you think that's from? You're a science man. I'm going to ask you about all this shit that you're not an expert in, but I would like for you to give your own scientific-y, So why do you think motherfuckers can't eat nuts?
I don't know about increased sensitivities on allergies, things like that. I think
Give
There's
me
maybe more awareness of it. There might be kind of like a mental thing where people are looking for problems, and then so they're going to end up seeing them. I know people have those allergies that are totally legit, so don't get me wrong. But I think there used to be kind of like, all right, let's walk it off on more things before.
No, I think it's because they let. I think people aren't that interesting, so now for them to be interesting, they have to have like different diet things and shit like that. Do you remember when the gluten thing happened a decade ago?
Yeah, yep. There's some people that have legitimate allergies that I've seen. But all of a sudden everyone's gluten free.
Yeah.
And why don't you have these offerings at your place?
Bruh.
And all this stuff.
Half my family, all my little cousins, all the fucking millennial cousins. Guess how many have that gluten allergy to this day?
You mean actually have it or think they have it?
Well, fucking like half of them had it like 10 years ago. A donut, a big L. Amazing. They I guess God cured them all of their fucking gluten allergy, those bastards. Let me ask you about this. Estrogen in the water. Were you seeing it?
I didn't look for that in particular. I counted bugs, basically, and identified them. And then water that's clean can hold certain bugs. Water that's dirty can hold certain bugs. And there's a point system and stuff.
All right.
But I have heard of stuff like that. You know, there's some wastewater treatment plants that filter out more things than others.
Yeah.
And so things like antidepressants getting in the water.
That's a bummer.
Birth control, things like that.
Yeah.
There's studies. I did have to dig deeper, but there's studies showing like deformities and issues, frogs in particular, from getting.
Ain't that crazy that like Alex Jones? Everybody clowned on Alex Jones, yelling about they turning the frogs gay, but like he kind of was fucking. He was spitting some bars on that shit, man.
I didn't hear that he'd said that, but I learned about it in a science class. So he said it in a sensational kind of way, but there's something to it. There's something to it.
I swear to God that they got some. Well, they do have something on them receipts with the estrogen on it that's making these guys into a bunch of Sallys.
Huh.
Yeah,
and something on the receipts.
Yeah,
really? Like
I won't touch it.
Like a coating on the receipt paper.
Yeah, on the receipt paper. Yeah. You're gonna have to take my word for it. I should really have the words for this. You know how many times I say this to people? Too many.
Even if there may or may not be current evidence, but they're plastics and things that are definitely hormone disruptors. So it's not crazy to say.
What do you think? What do you think a person could do to like combat that type stuff? Do you worry about that yourself, or is it just one less? Is it dealing out?
I guess I just try to find the places, whether it's pollution or other things like that. Find the places with the greatest exposure and reduce. Like I drink filtered water and try to eat clean, but there comes a point where you worry too much. It's going to lower the quality of your life instead of raise it.
I agree with you, man. Stress will kill you quicker than anything. That's why I like smokers, because they seem to be well, not all of them. Some are fucking, but like the devil may care smokers that are just like they're more relaxed, man.
I think so too.
I want to ask you about the water stuff. So, what were you happy with the cleanliness of the water up there up north?
The overall, yeah, but there's room for improvement. I'd say at least on the particular rivers where I was studying.
What were you seeing? What type of stuff were you seeing in the rivers?
The main issues were two things. We get a lot of phosphates.
What is that?
It's basically a part of fertilizers that are fed, like salt-based fertilizers that are fed to commercial agriculture operations.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of places don't make people have any kind of border. They'll farm right up to the edge of a ditch, and then they're putting all this salt fertilizer.
Man.
A ton of it runs off. It gets in our water. And then it feeds the algae. The algae blooms.
Yep.
It dies, goes down. Those microbes grow. And it just takes all the oxygen out of the water, so fish can't grow. And so
that's crummy.
It is. So what we're trying to do is put in green strips and get cities to want to put in green strips, provide the evidence that gives people ammunition to ask people to do that, their community to do that. And it's basically natural plants. It's like making water run through a filter or a sponge. Natural plants on the edge of the field, so all the fertilizer.
So it's not even like you're not. Like I get it. A lot of these farmers are getting squeezed, and some of this is probably like big business farmer too, right? Like these motherfuckers, it's giant farms, so they don't give a fuck, and they're probably paying people off.
They only give a fuck if it gets them more money.
And they're just killing our water, man.
It's really fucked up. But look, we're trying to find ways to make. Instead of asking them to suddenly be good people, create things like tax breaks or things like that. Give them incentives to do the right thing instead of, you can't expect people to just change and be good people, unfortunately. But try to make it make more sense. Give them tax breaks, whatever like that.
So this water, I used to, I'm probably older than you, but I am older than you because you told me how old you are. I'm 46.
Gotcha.
And I used to drink out the hose. Mm-hmm. And now it's like I drink bottles of water, and I drink. How safe would you say the average tap water is for a human to consume?
It could be so different city to city.
What city do you know? Do you have any data on the different cities? Or have you heard tell of any? Is there any rumors?
Grand Rapids is a very good example of like they have a really good water filtration system.
Yeah, but like doesn't it seem like they would have one?
Yeah, yep. And then here, there's a lot of attention on Flint because it's very well researched, studied. It all came to light.
Yeah,
but there are those old pipes in a lot of places, and so
yeah, we all got those old pipes.
I live in Hamtramck here, and there are a lot of cities that probably have those same things, and it just hasn't been looked into maybe as much as it should have, or the cities, choose not to pay attention to the research because it's expensive to change.
No, I don't want to be. I do believe I was talking to a family member of mine that works up there, and I think a lot of that came down to what they were trying to save, like $40,000 or something. Didn't they just do like the cheap thing and it tore everything
Flint?
apart? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's an ad.
I think
my understanding there's an additive you can put in the water that.
Yeah.
Makes the microbes in there, the beneficial microbes create a biofilm, like a slime, but a good slime.
Good slime.
It coated
like
the
semen.
Pipes. Yeah. A protein-based thing like that.
Yes, yeah. Creates life.
Yep.
Indeed.
And that was keeping the bad stuff from coming out of the pipes. And they're like, let's save money on that, and it went away.
So then let's go back to you doing chemistry and stuff. How did you apply that to your weed growing?
Well, when I was doing that water quality research, I went and did volunteer work in schools and stuff.
Yeah.
And I gave a talk about fungus to these 8th graders with the guy who became a mentor, took me under his wing. He was a chemist and a businessman.
Wow.
And a big part of what he did, I made different products, but big part of what he did was indoor environmental quality.
Okay.
So we'd go into, let's say, a lab or a hospital, create ways to keep harmful microbes off surfaces, out of the air, keep the temperature, the humidity, the airflow consistent.
Right.
Control systems, SOP. It's important for research places, but cannabis is more sensitive to its environment than like wine grapes as far as the quality of the product goes.
Really?
So somebody that I was developing a nanotech car wax for out in Oregon, going out there a few days a month, said, hey, do you have any ethical dilemma with cannabis? And he didn't know I'd been growing for like 17 years at that point.
Yeah.
And so I said, no. I was tech services Mike to him, and I was like, I can straighten it out. And that was about 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. And
what are the big problems that you see with the weed? What's happening with some of the indoor? What's it called? You call it internal environment, or what is it? Indoor environment.
Indoor environmental quality is what I would
call
like
it. What are some of the? I'm guessing like mold would be something.
Yeah. Any mold, fungus, water and moisture not being controlled is a big problem. It's if the microbes that we don't want to grow there don't have the moisture they need to survive, they won't be there.
Yeah.
If they don't have a receptive surface, they won't be there. If they don't have food, they won't be there. So if you have the environment that's fostering the growth of these bad things and inviting them in, then you can sanitize, and 12 hours later it's back. And maybe they're worse because you're making them know how you're fighting them.
Right.
So I try to control the environment. So it's like, armpit is a good example. These microbes are all over us, but they don't proliferate and become harmful or like to a population we notice them unless the environment is there. Our armpits, they're closed off. It's humid. It's warmer. It's moist.
Yeah.
Different microbes can grow there. And they have their purpose, but they also can smell sometimes. We notice the difference.
But you kind of got to need that, like, you got to like the way your girl smells, or else you're going to have like a retarded child. You know what I mean? That's no good.
It's a sign. It's totally.
It's like I remember I was with this one girl. She was a catch, but she smelled like a fucking boxing glove to me. You know what I mean? And I'm sure somebody else would have thought she was delectable.
I bet if it's not a cleanliness issue, then there's a hormonal thing.
No,
to
it's hormonal. Yo, dog.
I think people, when they're together for a while, can get on the same page.
Well, I was a sad boy just eating all this Viagra. I couldn't even keep my dick hard for her. And I was like, it's just the pheromones. What are you gonna do? Yeah. I heard. Actually, going back to the whole whatchamacallits. Mm-hmm. Taking the pill. These chicks will get off the pill and start not liking the way their man smells because it fucks with the hormones.
Oh, no shit.
Isn't that crazy, dog?
No kidding, it is. Because I guess it makes them hormonally like they're pregnant and their body thinking they're pregnant while they're on it. And we all know cravings and tastes and things like that change during that.
Yeah. So it's like, their body, and then they're like, oh, I want to have a baby. And then they look at their man like, ugh. How did I suck that dick? You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm not saying that. She's saying it. You know?
It's like in the fine print when they give you the 20-page warning on the medical ads.
Might bleeding, this, that, and the third. Might regret sucking that one dude's dick a gang of times.
I'm going to stop putting up with his bullshit after this.
Let me ask you. Let's go. I kind of want to apply what you're doing for marijuana. Everybody doesn't do marijuana, but like I'm sure that you can apply all of that to your own house, right?
Yeah, no, totally. It's great for anyone, but I mean,
You want some of this water?
Thanks, appreciate it.
Please, yeah, man.
But especially
that
people
was rude
with
of
like,
me.
No, thanks. People with compromised immune systems. I've gone and do people with really bad allergies.
What are some of the like? Is like lemon juice and shit good, or is that just hippie hogwash?
You know, like I'd say cleaning with vinegar and stuff like that is okay for basic cleaning, but like it's not a sanitizer.
Okay,
you know, it's not like a.
Take me through there. Like, have you ever been in a poor person's house? It smells like disease, man. It smells like no, I'm saying, like it smells like, and I'm saying this because I grew up like this. And I can smell it right now. It smells like cigarette smoke, fried foods, windows never been open, dusty ass carpet. I know that fucking smell, and it smells sick, especially now. Now that I'm not living in that style anymore. But what are some of the things that a person can do to give themselves a healthy house to live in?
The one thing, you know, if dehumidifier in the basement, if you have moisture issues, can help a lot.
I got one of those.
A lot of odors come from moisture.
Yeah.
You know, behind the walls or, you know, so controlling moisture is a really important thing. Making sure we're, getting rid of food. Like my place is cluttered, but, it's clean kind of thing.
Yeah.
So no food out for too long.
You probably do the dishes.
Yep. Or at least rinse them and let
them,
You know,
don't have that food
dry
just chilling there.
Oh. Right. Pet smells, of course, and that's tough. People get used to it and builds up. Yeah.
I know, man. Sometimes some people that own cats, their house smells like a fucking piss.
Yep.
And they're like, they don't smell like piss. And then you go to their crib and, what the fuck is this? Like the fucking ammonia.
I feel like they're further levels where it seeps into all their clothes.
Man, that's because you in Hamtramck and them girls don't believe in God. So all they got is a bunch of fucking cats and now they smell like piss, son. That's what's happened. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's So all right. So is there anything I was looking up? I got a bunch of oils. See, I was trying to make my hair grow back, but now it's got it's
irritated it. I can see. Looks like it was a little irritating.
Don't I look like a foster patient? Don't I look like foster care? Like I got like molested, I got lice, and I'm just sitting here all like, and nobody wants to adopt me now because I'm like the lice boy with the shaved head and shit. So that's what that was, huh?
Sometimes like essential oils, if you put them on full strength, they can be irritating to our skin.
I went pretty crazy with it.
Thank you. He was diluting it with water. I'm like, no, Jude.
You know what?
No. Some kind of oil or something.
Ask her what she does for a living. Ask her what she does. Hey, do you work with oils?
Yes,
You fucking she had me sitting here. I've been talking about rubbing oil all over my head and trying to grow hair back for fucking months, man. Until it came to, I'm showing up with fucking. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? I thought it was giving me zits, so then I put more on to stop the zits.
Make them a custom formulation.
That was some real fuck shit, man. Yo, Mike, that's out cold, ain't it? That's out cold. So showed you that to tell you this. Like I got some myrrh, and then I looked up that myrrh is good for like a natural, like it kills things. And I was like, that's pretty neat because then Jesus used it. I was like, suddenly these wise men are making sense, you know?
And
I didn't put the myrrh on my head, man.
He grew up, he was in a barn and he stayed clean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they was like, hey, man, them wise men know. They're like, where's he at? They having him in a barn. Get the myrrh. Get the fucking myrrh. Caspar. And then they had to get the myrrh. Hooch. Hooch. That's... You know what hooch makes me think of? Pussy.
Really?
Because then I think of cooch. And it's been brought to you by Luxury Loud. Bong.
Use oregano oil too, so.
Oh, I put oregano oil on my shit too. Do you think? I don't know, man.
I do believe in that stuff. There is validity to it, but if we're talking about sanitizing a hospital or facility where they're gonna come spot check and stuff,
no. I'm talking about for a house. What do you do for your house?
I use natural cleaning products in my house, and then every once in a while I do like clean start to the bottom, like sanitize, and then I use really good air filtration.
So what does that mean? Air filtration.
It means
like one of them.
Yeah, I made my own because it's part of what I do. So I have the materials and stuff.
What?
But like,
Elaborate.
so
You make your own air filtration.
Yep.
Dang.
There are different ways. There's HEPA is a very well known one out there.
What's a HEPA?
HEPA, it's like a high efficiency particulate.
Man, I'm gonna throw this at you if you don't fucking
something.
Speak fucking English.
It's basically
science, man. Speak English to me.
It's a fabric filter. Okay. Like when you pull the filter out of your heater, heating system.
Yeah.
That's usually not going to be HEPA. But if you think of that accordion of all that fabric that lets just a little bit of air through these tiny gaps.
Yeah.
It's like the spaghetti strainer for your air, but with tiny little holes.
That's cool, man.
And the materials that I use are a little bit different though. Like
what's that?
HEPA, it's like bench tested. So let's say it filters this well. But they test it once, run air through, check. But once things start piling up in the holes, it stops the air, so it stretches the filter. More stuff gets through. It's not as it's
what natural cleaning stuff do you use?
I use
like cloves. Like what oils? Like what stuff is good? Mint, lemon.
I like lemon for cleaners. I like lavender.
I'm talking to him. Now she wants to interject. Now that I got a fucking yeast infection on my head.
She could probably teach maybe she's an herbalist. She can probably.
I got herpes on my fucking head, bro. It looks like I got for real, man. Don't it look like I got herpes?
Nobody would notice though if you didn't point it out, man. It's in a good place for it.
But I can feel it.
Seventh generation I'll use.
You ever get cold sores?
No, I don't personally. But
good for you, man.
A lot of people do.
I do. My aunt gave them to me, and no one can see them, but I can feel it. It's like pulsating, and that's how my head feels.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said sorry for that.
Oh, it's fine. I wrote down something I was going to ask you. No, I didn't. Shit the bed. Because somebody interjected.
What kind of cleaning?
Yeah, I really. No, but he did use. But I like the. No, this is what I was going to ask you. Do you know that people? And I'm serious, man. I'm not trying to fuck with you, man. Like, people are kind of worried about the world right now, right? And water is something. Like I've heard people talk about grabbing the Berkey filter in case the water starts going bad. What do you have anything in case?
I do have like similar. It's an off-brand. I can't think of the name of it, but I have something like a Berkey I use.
Okay.
And then I buy filtered water right now too.
Yeah, but like what if
5-gallon jugs?
All right, so let's talk apocalypse though.
Yeah.
Like I'm a doomer or whatever. And I got a lake and a pistol. But so to filter this lake water, what filter would you
take that pistol and go to somebody's farm with a well, and then you can, no, I'm just kidding.
But a lot of them they're electric. You need the electricity.
Yep.
So it's like all hell's broken loose.
I mean, if you're really in a bad spot and you have a pot and a fire, I mean, boiling water is pretty damn good for a lot of things. I mean, if you only have a few days without water, so it might not be perfect at first. I mean, ideally we'd be able to find some kind of filters out there or something like that. But if you're saying we're like out in the woods,
no. But like I want to get ready for it right now, Mike.
Oh,
so like, all right, let me get ready for the doomsday right now. I'm at my house, and everybody else is like, "Oh, I'm so thirsty." And what do I do so I can drink my lake water?
I'd say you could get a more permanent filter and set it up and have it ready. And then they have little small ones you can throw in your car, backpacks and stuff called Life Straws.
I heard about those.
It only does so many gallons of water, but grab 5 of them, stash them in your bug out bag or your car or something like that.
Wait, hold up, man. I keep hearing about this bug out bag. What is that?
I guess that'd just be a term for you're saying if I'm ready for anything, down. And if I have to get out, then I'm good for a few days kind of thing.
If you had to make a bug out bag, what would you put in it?
I would some basic clothing, hygiene, water filtration, some food to get through a few days.
I wouldn't put any toothpaste in it. So, because if someone captured me, then they wouldn't want to rape me.
It's a good tactic.
I couldn't even keep a straight face. I would probably do the same thing with the bug out bag. But you need a pistol. You can't just sit there and reason with a motherfucker like, oh, come on, guy, don't take my bag. Like, nah, man.
No.
You gotta kill a motherfucker, man.
Better stay away from those situations and keep moving.
Straight up. What do you think the odds are that we, like, I guess you're not a history guy or anything like that. Are you afraid for the future? You seem pretty even keel. A little bit. Oh shit, in a way, man!
In a way,
freaking me out, bro.
I mean, in a way, I am. But what are we gonna do? We just have to live and be good people and do the best we can.
Bro, Mike, I'm telling you, man. I think it might get crazy, but I'm not afraid either. I'm just like, yo, bro, like it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and fretting over something is not gonna help.
No, and you never know. There's as many bad things that come through conflict and times like that of transition. Sometimes it's needed, and sometimes good things come too.
Dog, every time something bad has happened, I get something good out of it, you know?
Agreed. I did things because of COVID that I wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of like woke everybody up a little bit.
Yeah, bro. I was just talking to my homeboy about it. Like, my man, I got invited. I'll tell you the text conversation. It was just like, hey, you want to go to Modest Mouse? My friend said that. And I was like, last time I went to Modest Mouse, I gave an Armenian herpes. And then, that's probably why I was thinking about herpes just then. And then I screenshot it and sent it to a friend of mine, because I don't have it on my dick. Can you imagine? What are the odds? And I felt awful. I still do to this day. And I sent it to my boy, and he was there with me. He was like, oh, yeah, man, I was dusted, dancing around. I was like, you was wearing light-up shoes, too. And then it was like, maybe we need to have COVID. You know what I mean? Like, I'm over here giving chicks herpes with my face. He's got light up shoes. Like, maybe God was like, sit the fuck down, all of y'all. Like,
I mean, there's whether we're looking at examples like that or our industrialized society,
yeah,
you know, the way we're polluting, the way we're not taking care of each other, we're all pretty domesticated and giving up a lot of our freedom to the world around us.
I thought that was some hoe ass shit,
pretty
man.
imbalanced. A lot of things are really imbalanced right now.
You also develop with mushrooms. You do mushrooms.
Sure,
can
yeah.
we talk about that?
Yeah. No,
I'm all over the place.
I started growing mushrooms over 20 years ago. I don't currently cultivate myself, but I helped fund the first decriminalized movement in the country.
That's awesome,
we decriminalized Denver, funded the ballot initiative, and we had a big public consumption party with mushrooms and weed right afterwards in a warehouse out there. It's really cool.
Did anybody freak out? I bet you they did.
It's a couple people like staring at the table, but no bad freakouts or anything like that.
What was your worst mushroom trip you've ever had?
And I honestly, I've been pretty careful, I guess.
Really?
I mean, in the many times that I've taken psychedelics in the past, I haven't really had any. I guess the bad. Okay, I'll speak in generalities. The bad experiences, or the less comfortable experiences, come from when you use things like that, and you get some lessons or you get some perspective on your own self, and you don't apply it to your life, and then you keep going back, and they're like, wait a minute. Like, we told you this already. You're going to really face it now.
That's deep.
So I've always gone through waves of taking them for a while.
Right.
And then I get to a point where I need to apply it longer.
Yeah.
I've taken 8-year break, long breaks sometimes.
I'm on a break, right? I'm on a break right now too, man. I think one time I took a break, I was just going real hard with ketamine and shit. And I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror. So there's no way I could do mushrooms, because mushrooms make you look at yourself in the fucking mirror, man. You got to be good. You got to have your bills paid. Your house has to be clean. Like, I can't do mushrooms. I couldn't go do mushrooms in my house right now. It's not tidy enough.
I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I've been focused on work, and I'm doing good things I'm happy with, but also I know that I'm keeping things out of balance to get some things done right now that I don't want to face in that way.
I fucking get it, man.
I'm going to get through a few years of grinding before I do anything but microdosing for.
But it's kind of interesting though, right? It's like, if you know you're out of balance, then you're more balanced than you think you are. You know, it's like,
say, if you think you're crazy, you're not crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And I since you know so much about mushrooms, every now and again I'll get it where it's a fucking heavy. It's like I always feel like when I do the mushrooms, I feel like the thing's pouring. I feel like something pours over me. That's how I feel it come on. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it feels like a fucking. There's no release. It just pours over me and stays on me, and I don't know what
during that one experience, like within that 6 hour time or whatever.
It's like the whole time. It's like I probably have to eat more to push myself over it, but you feel so bad you don't even want to do it. Have you ever had anything like that happen to you?
It's definitely had different effects. I guess it could be a few different things. Sometimes I find I just need to get in a different environment, like get up and stretch and go someplace else, and it can be like, snap yourself out of that kind of funk.
Bro, I was stuck in a dubstep night, dude.
Oh,
fucking kill me, man.
If it's not your thing, that would put me in that spot in a bad
dubstep. Crummy. It's real crummy, man. What happens chemically to make you trip?
I guess I'm not sure if I'm the absolute best at saying it, but different neurochemicals and
isn't it poison?
The dose makes the poison.
Yeah,
This phrase out there.
All right.
That water will kill you if you drink enough, and
Yeah,
something can be medicine at one level and poison at another level. So see the chemicals in the substance itself that resemble, neurotransmitters in our brain that find the receptors that do certain things and kind of flood a lot of them and give us some of these experiences.
Why is there like? How come it's like? What are the two most popular? Like penis envy is one of the mushrooms, and then I forgot the other one. But like I feel like
I'd say like fanatic golden teachers are very popular.
I always see. I haven't done it in a while, but I always see penis envy and golden teacher.
Golden teachers are very easy to cultivate. They're a good user experience.
Okay.
They're not too finicky. They produce a lot, so it's like a very commercially viable strain. Penis envies, they're pretty potent and nice, and they do produce pretty well. And
that's why I keep seeing those all the fucking time.
I believe so.
Huh?
And who knows? Like, things are just trendy. It's like
it's been years,
just
man.
The name caught on, and people like it. And
this little everybody likes penis.
They do tend to be more potent, though. They can be more potent.
I had some white Brazilian ones, and them motherfuckers I was astral gliding on them.
I tend to like Southeast Asian ones personally.
Yeah,
like,
what kind of a high would you get off of those?
I just find them to be like more lovey and
more warm
parts that are like just happy, good for microdosing and stuff. Or mixing.
Do you do? What do you think about people? What do you think about the mainstream using mushrooms for therapy? What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's a great thing. I think it can be a great thing for a lot of things. I mean, ultimately, and I'm working towards being able to provide that for people. Were
you doing it for like vets and shit, or just anybody?
It's a veterans group that I'm talking to with it, and then I'm on the board of Harm Reduction Michigan, and we focus on addiction services.
Yeah,
and we would never do anything directly with that, but we serve a community that could really do a lot with that. So any kind of trauma, whether it's veterans coming back from war, people that are ending like substance misuse, and they need to change gears on that, people that have been through trauma. And it's
is that what it's called now? Substance misuse?
I think
for
substance
crying
misuse,
out loud,
abuse disorder,
but
just people who need to dial it back. We're not puritanical.
You're blowing guys at a fucking Safeway to get some heroin. That's abuse, sir.
Yeah, whenever it starts interfering in your life,
agreed.
If it's not on your list for the day.
Yeah. It's like what I gotta do? Get the groceries, blow a guy, and at the fucking Safeway. Like, nah. So have you seen people be cured off of the fucking mushrooms?
I'd say cure is a strong word, but definitely helps.
Yeah.
And with other psychedelics, like the most impressive like response to psychedelics when it comes to like people wanting to discontinue substance, to stop like harmful drug use.
Yeah.
Because we're not puritanical. If somebody says, I just want to be safer, we help them be safer. If they want to reduce, we help that. It's not, But ibogaine.
We did a whole ibogaine thing. We had a fella on and we did a whole ibogaine. Awesome. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a harrowing experience during the trip. But I've met a lot of people that did it and had a few weeks of feeling like they just it was gone.
You know what it was for me, Mike? It's like one, it's will. you have to want to do something, and then two is kind of like knowing yourself. Like I'm a fucking maniac, so I'm gonna need something else to take that place, and then it's just it's that's what I kind of lean into.
I think that's a great way to do it. There's like the conventional approach where they're like, oh, if you're not cold turkey and nothing, then you're not one of us, and it's not right. It's like fuck that. This kills people because I got invited into that to do marijuana donations to people who wanted to quit things that actually kill them.
Right.
And like for somebody to say, oh, you're replacing one drug with another. This doesn't kill people. Who gives a shit?
Yes,
right?
I am replacing one drug with another. This drug, I was blowing guys at Safeway. This drug, I'm way happier. I learned the bongos.
They're inviting me to their home now.
Yeah, straight up. No, it's a whole different. I know. I feel you. Like I went to rehab one time. Mm-hmm. I didn't even need to, man. I'm gonna be real with you. I was just trying to get another drug, to be all the way real with you. And the crazy shit at the rehab, it was when you go there feeling like you really don't like, because I wasn't going there for fun shit. I couldn't sleep. I'll tell you my theory on insomnia in a second. So I couldn't sleep. And when I'm going there, we were on more fucking drugs there than out in the world. It was crazy, dog. We all line up. We're all line up to go get our drugs, and it's just like. So even the people that say you're trading one drug for another, it's like the legitimate way is doing that same thing.
Right. You should trade one drug for one that we're making money off of.
Yeah.
That's what they're really saying.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, like, yo, man, you don't need that drug. You need this drug for your anxiety. You're not going to be able to fuck, and half your hair is going to fall out, and you're going to lose all of your cravings shit, but at least you won't be a junkie.
Right.
I'll take junkie every day of the week. So I got a theory. What do you think about this? Insomnia doesn't exist.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's just like, look, man, and this is me. I think it's like you want to sleep, but if you're up, you have energy. Like if you're up, you got energy. You know what I mean? You'll like either perhaps you can't sleep at will, but your body will keep going. It's not like you're gonna just stay awake until you die. How many people have done that?
I guess I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? And then maybe they're telling you like you need 8 hours of sleep, sir. Mike, how many hours of sleep you get last night?
It's hard for me to get more than like 5 or 6.
That's fucked up. You need 8 hours of sleep, and then you get that in your head, right? Well, it says the doctor say I need 8 hours of sleep, and then I'm taking pills to go to sleep, and now I'm a junkie. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do see, and I think I would guess there's probably some conditions that make it harder than it should be for some people to sleep that could like stress their bodies and be hard on them. You're
looking at them. You're looking at it. I got that same thing, but like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do sleep sometimes 4 hours or less, and it is kind of enough. But then there is that part of me that's like, man, I really should be getting more. They say it's 8 hours,
right? Yeah, but like you're up, you're fucking functioning better than most of the people around you on less sleep. So clearly, you're fine.
Yeah.
Either you can do your day or you can't. That's it.
If somebody's getting like 4 hours and they're happy with that, great. If they're going like 3 days without, then they should probably go get
dude,
something.
That's me. You're looking at it. I don't ever get no sleep, man. But whatever. Well, it's just
it's enough. It's enough.
It's enough because I decided it had to be. It was a real Buddhist thing to do. It's just like, this is it, dog.
Accept it.
I can't fucking control. Like, clearly I don't have control over my body like that. Uh-huh. And stressing, laying in bed, stressing the fuck out is killing me, literally. So it's just, I just started accepting it.
Yeah.
Stop smoking the meth, too.
Oh, that helps?
Nah, I'm playing. Do you have anything that you're passionate about, like that we haven't talked about?
I guess, with like my day-to-day work, I really do like help doing these things and helping people take their ideas and doing construction projects and stuff like that. And I work more in, the licensed world in the great.
Where were you coming from just today? You don't have to tell me the name or anything. Like, what were you doing just today?
Oh, just today. Today I just worked from home, and so today what did I do? I talked to somebody about setting up some processing in Europe. And
processing weed?
Source some biomass for CBD. Yep.
So
we're doing a specialty security kind of project.
I don't know what the fuck that means, Mike. You're in such a different world than I am. What does that mean?
So, you know, through doing these developments and stuff like that, you know, you learn a little bit more about security and.
So you're helping him do security for his place as well?
Beyond cannabis now, and beyond the stuff that's used
really
in cannabis. But I do everything. I do design and build from the bottom, from dealing with the city, getting the permits and licenses, all the floor plans, architectural engineering, construction, and then business after that, management service agreements and stuff.
Dude, you're just fucking from the rooter to the tutor, man. That's what's your favorite thing to do on that?
I like dealing with the cities, believe it or not, because just like navigating ordinance and writing agreements.
You're a big bureaucracy guy.
I'm a peacemaker.
So, but I'm guessing for you, it's like a puzzle, right? It's like, okay,
it is. I like to say it.
Yeah,
it's like putting together puzzles. Or let's see what the puzzle pieces are.
And it's funny too because I imagine since you're not directly attached to this thing, you can step back and you're better at solving this puzzle than I'd be if it's my project.
I think, I believe so because in a lot of situations, because it's our whole world has kind of been busted. It's been industrialized to the point where we've been forced into simple problem solving, like linear problem solving. Like if the world's becoming a factory, they want the SOP to be the same every time.
Right.
And they want to say this plus this equals that, straight line, that's it. But that's not the way the real world is. It's not efficient. We have complex problems and we need complex systems solutions. And so in the cannabis, it's even worse because it's unstandardized. Everything's always changing. Everyone thinks they're all an expert, and they want to come into this, and there's a lot of greed. People like, I'm going to put my shit in this. I'm going to put my shit in. They want to look at it very individualistically. And so to step back and say, all right, this is how all the puzzle pieces should go together, and to actually meet our goal instead of get to the finish line and die. And that's
so. Is that when you're making the reference? Are you talking about all the different cannabis companies working together, or just like one cannabis company moving forward?
I guess to some extent you could say all the different companies working together, but I mean more like a project of everybody putting their head together to even like build a grow, for example.
Yeah.
What should it look like? What materials? What kind of lights? Well, my guy does this, and I got this.
It's kind of funny, because I'm cutting you off because I want to fucking ask you this. Like, what are you running? I think everybody pictures their own thing for the weed guys. Like, what are some of these stereotypes? They might not even be stereotypes. What are you running up against with the weed guys?
Issues. One main issue is people who've had success in other industries and come into this one with hubris and think they're going to like reinvent the wheel and show everyone how it's done.
So like tobacco guy or something like that?
Anything. It could be a accountant from Little Caesars. It could be a pharmacist. It could be, I'm listing actual, but.
I know he's shooting shots at motherfuckers, man. You fucking pizza making motherfucker.
Yep. And then the other way would be people who came from have cannabis experience and were able to talk somebody with money into backing them, but they don't have commercial experience.
So it's funny. It's the two experts with hubris on both sides that don't understand to be able to move to the next level. You have to know business and you have to know weed.
Yeah. Yep. If you know business real well, this isn't a factory.
Yep.
It's a living thing, and it's art in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So it's not just making widgets.
Yeah.
And then on the other end, you might grow the best weed in the world. It doesn't mean shit unless you can grow it cheaper than everyone else and actually get it to market. You know? Like, I love boutique stuff. I'm passionate about living soil and no-till. I go to the woods and collect microbes and extractions and like living all that stuff.
Right.
Very little room for that except for outdoor grows and all this, and not on that level. It has to be there has to be a lot of compromise, and so it's like 3% of the market give a shit about quality unless they're getting it for cheap as the regular stuff.
It's funny, man. Weed is still boutiquey, right? To be trying to be a boutique market, man. Like you need to get the Marlboro cigarettes before you can go back to be like, here's a boutique brand for you. I
would say if you're marketing it as a more expensive, if you're saying like with alcohol, people who drink Coors Light all the time will appreciate like a nice bottle of whiskey every once in a while. Like this is something nice. With weed, I mean, people generally just want a better deal. Very few people are willing to go out and get a super expensive eighth. Yep. But if you have more control of the process, like where we are now, vertically integrated, it doesn't have to go far in a hot truck or anything like that. And then there's more room for profit margin to put more care into it. If you're giving people like weed that's better, it doesn't have to be more expensive necessarily either to grow really good weed. You just have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so if you're getting the really good stuff to people for the average prices, that's like the best play right now, I would say.
So you've been in the weed game forever.
Yeah.
What do you think? Can you point out to? Has there ever been a time where you're just like, this is the most overrated weed? Like everybody's asking for this strain, and it's like you just can't even wrap your head around it.
Oh man.
Or maybe even underrated. Like, yo, man, no one likes this shit, but like this shit slaps. I just want to know about misconceptions.
Oh, nothing's coming. I guess
Yeah.
I can't.
Is
I'll try
everything
to
pretty
think
solid?
of something. No, well, no, I don't think everything's necessarily super solid.
Was
I'd
cookies
say-
everything? Was cookies worth the hat?
Oh, cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Their shit is good.
So there
Yeah.
are some good cookie strains out there.
Right.
There are some good cookie strains out there, but I don't know if it's worth paying the licensing fees. There's a lot of other good strains out there, and brands don't matter as much as they are going to at this point. You know? I know there's like a genetic bottleneck right now too. So like,
What do you mean by that?
so people used to put more care into breeding. Like
Right.
it really takes it takes at least a few generations if you do something called cubing, which I don't even get into. I guess people can Google it.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like 7 generations of regular.
How long is 7 generations? Is that 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, that could. Yeah,
Okay.
yep. About a couple years or so
Okay.
if you do everything pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so then it's breeding. Like you breed 2 golden retrievers,
Yeah.
you're going to get a whole litter of golden retrievers.
Right.
But now people are like, oh, it says runts on it, and I'm going to like slap it together with this, ice cream cake, and we're going to call it runts cake. And then the next person says, well, that's a cool name. People seem to be biting on that.
Right.
Like I'm going to slap another hype name on that, and then we have a bunch of mutts out there.
And so let me spit it back to you.
Mixed breeds.
Yeah, so you're getting these fucking. They're not breeding it over and over and over again enough to make it strong enough for them to remix it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might have to grow, a shitload of them to get that one keeper cut, and then you need that cut. But the seeds, you probably have to grow 200. You might have to grow 100 to find the keeper.
No shit, man.
And more importantly, as time goes on, like there are less people putting the work into having those stable genetics to breed with. And
So what do you think what's the worst that could happen if people aren't like careful?
I guess well, look at our food system. You go to the grocery store and get a tomato, and it's like a rubber ball with grainy, gray nastiness inside. Or you get an heirloom tomato from the farmer's market, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, man.
This is a tomato.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's totally what it is. Or like bread, or
So we're
like
on our
home
way-
cooking versus grandma's apple pie versus a Hostess cake or something like that.
Yeah, man, that's always what I used to. I remember the first time I had sex was without a condom, and then when I put on a condom, I was like, "This is like eating at the fucking Olive Garden compared to my nani." You know what I mean? This is
I don't need a
baloney.
sneeze guard for this.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We should all use condoms.
I don't use. I'm not
I
gonna
don't
use
really,
condoms. No, I'm not using condoms. I'd say have sex with someone you love, and stop running around like a whore. That's what I did. And look at my head. It's a real bummer.
Need to see that video.
Yeah, look at that. Don't fucking. This is from fucking. That's a lie, but I want to scare the children.
That's fun.
It sure was nice having you on here.
Thanks.
Should I have asked you anything that I didn't ask you?
Not that I can think of. I mean, if anybody ever needs any support on anything, I do troubleshoots and design build for new things.
Yeah,
so reach out.
I think it's really you offer a skill set that is unicorn level. I'm sure you're gonna fucking blow you're gonna be very busy for a very long time because you're that conduit, bro. You're the conduit to bring both sides together.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It's been stressful. There've been a lot of ups and downs, but I feel really good, and it's my mission. It's
Hell yeah,
what
man.
I should be doing.
Fuck yeah, dog. And we'll put on there right here where they can find you. Blah. Shake on it.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mike.